Okay, everybody, so a bit different of a video today. I saw on Reddit that this new Auto Chess Game Data website came out, and I wanted to kind of go through it, let you guys know my first impressions, and maybe let you know how I might plan to use this for myself in the future so that you guys could use it for yourselves in the future as well. So this is kind of the home screen when you land here. This feature isn't exactly enabled yet. Like if I look for my character name, it doesn't show up. Manual scans are coming soon. So what they're doing is they're going off of the leaderboard, and they're kind of harvesting data from the people who are on the top leaderboard. So since my account is so far down that I'm not being matched up with top 100 players, my account is not showing up on here. But that's okay because we can still learn a lot here. So first of all, we can go look at the leaderboard, and we can look rank by rank, and it kind of doesn't really do much for the lower ranks, but we can use this to find, for example, the number of queens and to see who they are. And let's see, this is currently the top ranked player, so we can click on them and we can see actually their match history, what comps they've been using, and we can see some of the popular picks for those players. So we can see that they like to go assassins, some beasts, humans, demons, and so on and so forth. So we can actually learn a lot about the top players and kind of like the trends in the higher ranks by using this website. So I think that's a really nice way to kind of keep up with the meta and understand what's going on. So that's the leaderboard, and we can actually look at, for example, queens, kings, and so on and so forth. So that's a way to track the meta, kind of looking at this queen leaderboard, clicking on these players and seeing what units they're buying and what buffs they're going for. That's not how I plan to use this mostly, though. I will, do occasional check-ins to see what the meta is looking like, but I think the most useful thing is going to be this unit meta and this buff meta. So what these tell you is, and it defaults to rook. I wish it wouldn't do that. I wish it would default to king or queen. I'm going to go to queen because, right, that's just the top players. So these are the best players in the game, and these are the units that they are picking the most and doing the best with. For example, we can see that when we go to the queen meta, we see that the top units are Razorclaw, who, everybody knows is a very good unit, but it looks like about half the time these queen players are picking Razorclaw, which is much higher than I would have thought. Pirate Captain, obviously a great unit. Shining Assassin, Warpwood Sage, much higher than I would have expected. And I think that kind of makes sense if you look at these three together, or these four together even. Those are all feathered units. So that's telling me that feathered is probably very prominent in the queen meta. And we will see later on that we can actually check what sort of compositions are in those metas. So I really like that this website allows you to see kind of what the top units are and the trends as far as units amongst the top players. For example, if I look at the queen meta, I see Razorclaw, Pirate Captain, Shining Assassin. Shadowcrawler is a bit higher than I would have expected. And then when I go down to the king meta, I see Storm Shaman and the Source up here, and even Desperate Doctor. So what I'm seeing is that something like a Divinity is very prominent up till king, but those same units don't show up in the high queen rank. So Divinity is probably a good way to get up to king, but then you need to start expanding your gameplay. Maybe there's a lot better understanding of how to beat Divinity once you get to these higher ranks. So I really like that you can see sort of the top units at every level of the game. And then we can see the star count that people tend to go for. And this is something that I've been stressing a lot in my videos recently, is that personally, I think 3-star units are overrated. A lot of newer players, a lot of lower ranked players tend to focus on, or tunnel vision on, I gotta get 3 stars, I gotta get 3 stars. And if you look here, the only 3-star that's anywhere up high, the only 3 stars that are anywhere up high on this list are druids. I see the Whisperseer here, I see the 3-star Razorclaw, and this 3-star Warpwood Sage. Everything else up on this list is a 2-star. And what that's telling me is it's really important to get your units to 2-star and it's much less important to get up to 3-star. And I think the reason is a 2-star unit is likely to live long enough to get their ultimate off, and that's kind of what you really want your units to do. Once they've casted their ultimate and they're just auto-attacking, they're kind of not as useful. So I'm thinking that we're just seeing units with very high value ultimates up here, and as long as they're 2-star, they are useful enough to be kept in the game. And you don't need to push them to 3-star. If I go to King here, I'm seeing the same thing. I'm not seeing really any 3-stars except for the Druids. But I bet you, if we go down to Pawn, we're going to start seeing all sorts of 3-stars mixed in here. Maybe not. 3-star God of War, 3-star Unicorns, the 3-star Soulbreaker. So units that you don't see show up in the King and Queen meta at all are showing up as 3-starred here. And I think that's telling me that, you know, lower ranked players tend to focus a little too much on getting stars. But I really like that this does differentiate by star count. And one thing you can do is, I don't know what the default sorting is here. It might be pick percentage. Yeah, it looks like the pick percentage is the default, but you can actually, for example, sort by any of these categories just by picking on it. So I'm going to go to win percentage, and I'm going to see that, when queens get a 3-star source, they win most of their games. 2-star Blight Sorcerer also. That's actually surprising, because Blight Sorcerer, in my opinion, is one of the weaker legendaries. So seeing it up here is kind of surprising. But yeah, you can sort by win percentage, you can sort by pick count and see what these players are going for most often. Top 3 percentage maybe tells you what's the most consistent way to get there. So it's really cool that this allows you to find the top units in the game. And you can even do it at your own skill level or your own ranking within the game. So I'm definitely going to use this, and I'm going to look for kind of the trends as far as the top units, and it's going to help me see which units are worth 3-starring and which ones aren't. And pretty much it's what I expected. It's worth 3-starring your Druids, and I don't think it's an Atabu Witcher there. Okay, that's just an easy 1 to 3-star. Shadowcrawler, definitely one that amazing. Once she's 3-starred, she can one-shot people. So it's very interesting and helpful, because it'll help you prioritize. You know, if you wanted to go for a certain build, you can see what star count to stop at. So this website is incredibly helpful when looking at units, and it's going to be incredibly helpful when looking at buffs. Now, I wish there was a way to filter this, because, you know, Demon is not really a synergy, right? Like, if you've got a Doom, for example, you have Demon. So this is showing up as 45%, and I would imagine that's almost entirely due to Doom and Hell Knight, right? Those two units get included in a lot of comps. So we're seeing Demon up here simply because of those units. So I almost wish that this was sorted kind of by like primary and secondary buffs, but I'm not sure how you would do that. And if we go to Queen, we see the same thing, right? We see Demon up here, and that's likely almost entirely due to Doom, if I had to bet, if I had to guess. We're in the Queen meta, right? Yeah. So we can see, you know, win percentage, win count. So the highest win percentage actually is Shaman, but you would take that with a grain of salt because it's a very low pick percentage. So maybe it's more useful to look at what has a high pick percentage and then look amongst that for the highest win percentage and see, we're seeing beasts and we're seeing humans up here. But I don't know if that's a 2 beast, a 4 beast, or a 6 beast, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know how to differentiate that, and that's where this buff meta by level shows up. So it actually does sort by, you know, this shows that this is a 2 human buff, and then if I look lower down, the 4 human will show up somewhere. So there's the 4 human. So you can actually see more specifically, I see the 2 human buff gets utilized a lot. That could be due to mages, that could be due to warriors with the Pirate Captain and Werewolf. There's a lot of different ways that could be utilized. So you want to also look at what else is up here. And I'm seeing, let me go to the Queen meta actually. 2 beast, 2 human, Agursis, Marine, Warlock. Okay, so I'm seeing lots of sub-synergies up here. You know, I'd consider 2 of a unit a sub-synergy. But the first main synergy we come down to is this 6 feathered. So I'm seeing 6 feathered is the top sort of meta build in the high ranks. And then I look for another main synergy and I keep going down and I'm seeing that 6 warriors is the next most common, and then 6 assassins. So you can use this and see kind of what the main most popular builds are. Let's see, there was the 6 assassins. Next we see 4 beasts, which is probably a part of the 6 warriors actually. And 6 mage, 4 glacier, which I also kind of consider a sub-synergy, but we're seeing mostly that in the high ranks we're seeing a lot of assassins, we're seeing a lot of feathers, and we're seeing a lot of warriors. And I think it might be useful to look at the king meta as well. At least this early in the season, a lot of your top players are still king. So we can see that, yes, we're seeing 6 assassins, 6 warriors, 6 feathered, glaciers up here, 6 knights is showing up. That's actually higher than I expected. So I wonder what knight build that is that people are going with. I see dragons here, and I saw glaciers up above. So I wonder if Glacier Knight and Dragon Knight are both still somewhat alive and well. But it's just really cool that you can see kind of where the top synergies are, and you can see what the bottom synergies are. So you can see 9 feathered gets played, you know, very rarely. And I'm quite a fan of 9 feathered actually, so that's really surprising to me. 8 warlock, you know, that's a build I've never even gone for. 4 marine. So you can sort and see that certain buffs are, you know, doing quite well, and certain ones are not maybe as favored in the meta. And then we can go and just go straight up complete comps and see what the top actual comps are. It doesn't show you the units, but I think you can kind of piece it together and figure this out, right? So this is a 6 feathered with beasts. There's druid and there's assassins in here. So you know that there's 2 feathered assassins, the shining assassin and the shadow crawler. I see the beast synergy here, so that tells me we've probably got a razor claw on the field, especially because we know we've got the druid synergy. So I bet this is 6 feathered with a razor claw. I bet there's a Lord of Sand in here as well. I know we're using a Taboo Witcher, so we can pretty much analyze this and figure out what this exact comp is by looking at these synergies. It is a little challenging to figure out every last unit here, but we can see that Feathered Assassins, very strong in the meta. So is 6 Assassins. This is interesting. I wonder what this 2 Mage, 2 Warlock build is. That's actually pretty surprising that there's no other synergies there. But then again, you see there's the Beast Warrior. We've got Glacier Knight, looks like it's making a comeback, and we've got Beast Warrior again. So it's very useful to kind of track the top level meta with this and see what builds you should be familiarizing yourself with and what builds are just strong currently in the game. So, you know, I do know how to play this Feathered Assassins build. I know how to play 6 Assassins. I have no idea what this is, so I'm definitely going to want to do a bit of research there. Beast Warrior, Glacier Knight, another Beast Warrior build. This one has Marine, so this one probably has an Abyssal Guard and like a Siren or a Tsunami. And this one does not have the Marine buff, so those are just the games that they don't manage to find that Tsunami probably. And then Dragon Knight is up here as well, so I'm kind of learning a bit about what comps are favorable right now and what is not. And you know what is suspiciously missing here? Divinity. I don't see Divinity in there anywhere. I didn't see Hunters either, I think. No Divinity, no Hunters. No Cave Clan. So that's actually kind of surprising. And once we go to King, we can see that those builds actually do get some play. We see some Hunters here. We see some Cave Clan mixed in with these builds. 6 Hunters. No Divinity here either. That's quite surprising. I play a lot of Divinity, so it's really interesting to me that I'm not seeing it show up anywhere. I wonder if that's a mistake, actually. Because I would really expect to see Divinity especially by the time you get to Rook. Like, I expect to see Divinity showing up a lot. So I wonder if they have a bug in their system. Probably going to share this with the creators so that they can know that Divinity is not showing up. Unless it really is that unpopular, but I highly doubt it. Yeah, we should be seeing Divinity somewhere in here. So I wonder what's going on there. But suffice to say, this is a really powerful tool to kind of figure out what the strongest units are in the game and the strongest compositions in the game. As soon as they add this feature where you can search yourself, that's going to be really nice. You can probably do a little bit more in-depth analysis of your own gameplay than what you can do in-game. So I look forward to that and being able to look at my opponents and what they tend to play. But all in all, I think this is a really powerful tool. And I think it's going to be really helpful as far as the meta kind of evolving and tracking the meta, and I think overall it's just going to bring a higher quality of play to the game. So I know that I'm going to plan to use this, especially for looking at which units I should be focusing on buying, star count of those units, as well as what the top comps are, especially in the Queen ranks. This is not a sponsored video by any means, by the way. The user's not paying me to do or say anything nice about this. I just found it today and I wanted to do a quick review. I do like this tool. I'm definitely going to be using it myself. Completely free to use, obviously. It's just a website you go to. No need to make an account or sign in or anything like that. So I recommend for those of you who are struggling to climb or who just maybe want to climb faster, this seems like it's going to be a great tool to help you focus on which comps to learn, which units to include, and the star count that you should be focusing on for your units. So I hope you liked the video. Please go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it. And I think my next video, I'm probably just going to do some sort of troll where I'm going to look at the top units. I'll probably pick the top 10 units and just build just those units and see how they go together. That could be a fun and glorious fail because obviously they're from different builds, right? So there's really no synergy in having a pirate captain and a shining assassin and a razor claw in the field together. They don't benefit each other in any way. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time back in the Pawn to King series. Have a good day.